look, Toronto Life is one of the top 2 or 3 city magazines in North America. Number 1 in our hearts. By any measure, number of awards, respect of your peers, readership. Newsstand sales in John's last year were up 33%. What the hell were you doing the other year? 33% last year, extraordinary. Toronto Life is read by more people in the Greater Toronto area than watch CBC's National News with Peter Mansbridge all across the country every night. I mean, oh my God.
John hired me about 10 years ago, and that year, soon after I was hired, I'd go to parties where I'd meet people who had worked for John, and they'd say, so what are you doing with your life? And I would say, well, I'm working in Toronto Life. And they would say, they'd get this like kind of, this look that was sort of half envy and half nostalgia, and they'd say something like, oh, John Macfarlane, I worked for John Macfarlane once, and those were the happiest professional years of my life. And I didn't know what they were talking about at the time, but of course, I learned exactly what they meant. John is a true believer in the power of magazines, and he's a lover of good stories. And when you work around John, he isn't cynical. You really believe that what you're doing matters. So that's a big part of what it means to work for John. But there's another reason why working for John is such a great honor and pleasure, and that's because he's a nurturer. And you can feel the confidence he has invested in you when you work for him. He supports you and he cheers you on, and he gives you the freedom to make mistakes, and he helps you learn from those mistakes. And he will defend you when the hate mail arrives and when the lawyers show up at your cubicle serving you papers you don't understand. And then when a small miracle happens and everything comes together and you produce something you're really proud of, he's really quick to give you all the credit for it. I'm speaking from personal experience, but I know there are dozens, I don't know, maybe hundreds of people here who know exactly what I'm talking about. Editors, writers, fact checkers, photographers, designers, we all have something in common. We've been very lucky. So on behalf of everyone who has called John boss, let's raise a glass.
So I want to thank you for collaborating with me in these 15 wonderful years at Toronto Life, and many of you in the years before that. At a conference in New York a couple of years ago, I heard a man named Ronald Heifetz, I think is the son of Yasha Heifetz, speak. And this underachiever was at the time working on his 3rd career. He had been a concert cellist. He taught psychiatry at Harvard, and now he was the head of the School of Public Leadership at the Kennedy Center at Harvard. And he was talking about time management and the difficulty many of us have with it. And he said that he recommended this exercise. He said, make 3 lists. And in the one list all the things in your life that are precious. And then in the next list all the things in your life that are essential. And in the 3rd list, put the rubric at the top, other. And he said, you'll undoubtedly discover that you spend far more time on the other than you do on the things in your life that are precious or essential. But the other interesting thing is to simply make that distinction in your life about the things that are essential, like eating, like your health, like earning a living, and the things that are precious. And one of the things in my life, and one of the things on my list, which I revise from time to time, is the relationship I've had with all of you. So thank you again very much. And now, let's rock and roll.